The GR22 stock chassis for the Ruger 1022. Let's check it out. The Ruger 1022 is the most popular 22 semi-automatic rifle made. I mean, there have been literally millions of these guns made, and it is a big favorite, especially with American shooters. There's so many different parts and accessories and things you can do to it. But one of the cool things that I found recently is the Gungner Incorporated 22 chassis system. It's the GR22. Your Ruger 1022 action just fits down in it, and it looks like an AR-15 and it's a lot of fun. You know, and if you have ARs, it gives you the feel for the rifle and the way it points, but this is a really lightweight system. In fact, the chassis alone weighs less than 2 pounds. This rifle altogether only weighs 5¼ pounds without the optic. But you can go from something like this to this, and it's a very lightweight, easy installation, and the price for the chassis is just $49.97. It's fantastic. And so what's even better is they offer a 10% discount using SUIT00 at checkout, and I'll have all the links down below. Now, of course, that doesn't include the Ruger 1022 and all the other accessories, but the chassis itself, that's a great deal. This is what you get in the package. This is made from a fiberglass reinforced nylon. All parts are made in the USA. You get your rail system, you get your mount for your scope, and then you get your chassis. And it does have a receiver extension that is up to mil spec, so you can put any kind of aftermarket mil spec stock on here. Then we have our barrel stabilizer. This is to be used if you're using one of the standard 1022 barrels. If you go with the bull barrel, you don't have to use the stabilizer. And then we have the screws and a small little Allen wrench. There is an aluminum block that's embedded into the chassis, and this allows you to put standard mil spec AR-15 pistol grips, or you can put other aftermarket pistol grips. And all the mounting points are brass threaded, which I think is really nice. And then of course you have your steel screws. Now you will need a mil-spec stock, a pistol grip. Of course you'll have your grip screw. I'm going to use just the basic stock set because it's the cheapest. These are really cheap, inexpensive to find. In fact, if you go to a lot of your local gun shops, they'll give you these parts because they're changing them out for Magpul and different stock sets like that. And the screw is a 1/4 by 28 thread. We're going to remove our 1022 out of the stock. We're going to look, make sure the gun is clear. We're going to take a hex wrench and we're just going to unscrew this one screw. We'll also need to remove the barrel band as well. Next, we're just going to lift up on the barrel and we're going to pull our action out. Now there's an area back here that fits into the stock. If you'll notice, there's the area down pretty low in here. So the receiver is actually going to ride down into the chassis. It's a little bit difficult to get it started. In fact, they even have a separate video showing just forcing it actually into this. So once we get it in here, we're going to kind of get it down deep. One thing you'll notice is your charging handle. You want to kind of get it back. The best way I found is to rest this on a solid surface and then just push down and forward at the same time. You're going to want to get those front lugs at the front of your receiver right here over the stock. Just like that. Once it snaps into place, you're good to go. But it does take a little bit of force. Next, we're going to take our top cover, and with this tab coming out, just slide it into the rails, and you need to do this before you put on your handguard. It's going to mate right back here to a screw, and then one here in the handguard. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this screw in the rear part just to give us a little bit of stability. You don't want to get that super tight, but you do want it pretty snug. In the instructions it says that if your rear sight interferes with the handguard, you may have to remove it. I've already test fitted it and mine will go over it, but that's just something to consider. We're going to take our handguard and install it, but you'll notice that this tab that comes out with the threads, you want to have it toward the receiver. Just like that. Next, we'll just start inserting our screws and get those tightened down. And again, you want it snug, but you don't want to go too tight and crack the receiver. Next, we're going to install our 2 screws on either side of the receiver and the handguard. I would just get them semi-tight and then go ahead and install the other one and then tighten them up as they're together and already installed. It'll give it a good even fit. And guys, this is all lined up very well. I'm a little bit surprised because a lot of times with reinforced polymer like this, there can be some tolerance differences, but it's pretty spot on. Next, we're going to take our barrel stabilizer and just clamp it over the barrel. It won't fit over the sight. And then this will help line up the front. Now the best way to know that you're lined up is with the barrel stabilizer, the flat area is going to be aligned with the top of the handguard right here. And so that really helps. In fact, I was trying to do it and this was an easy way. And now we're just going to insert our screws. Nice and snug, not too tight. Next, we're just going to check the fitment of the grip. Take our screw, that aluminum block is a really nice feature. It's going to give you a lot of stability for your grip. There we go, solid as a rock. Next, we're going to attach our stock. You need to make sure you go with a mil-spec stock instead of commercial. And this is a mil-spec stock, so we're just going to place it over, pull down on your adjustment lever, and you're all set. Very good. Of course, you can go with aftermarket stocks like Magpul, BCM. There's a lot of different ones you can use. Or again, you can just go with the standard, inexpensive mil-spec, like this one. You can use your standard 10-round box magazine, but who wants to do that? Here, I've got a Butler Creek 25 rounder ready to roll. Okay guys, we have the GR22 chassis system installed. I mean, this really transforms the rifle. The only thing you're going to need are some sights. Whether you use some backup sights to go on the Picatinny rails, or you can go with a small little scope. So choice is yours, and that's one of the things. There's so many different things you can do to this. Or you can go all out and put whatever you want to on here. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. Now, one thing I do want to mention is the Keymod rails. They're not real. These are just, they're thick, so you're not going to be able to use that for Keymod. But you do have the upper and the lower full Picatinny rail all the way down. And also key points here and on the other side. The controls are molded in, but they're not usable. You still have your 1022 here with your mag release. Now I have an extended mag release, which will definitely help. And 2 on the other side, which, you know, again, they're not usable, but it just adds to the cool factor. Now, as far as for the optic, this is one of the Primary Arms 3X ACSS red dots. It's got 3 magnification. This is a great little sight. It does come with a mount, but you can go to Primary Arms. In fact, I'll have a specific link down below, and they usually run specials for Suits viewers. Check it out. I think it already comes with a mount, so maybe it'll have a kill flash. And if you're interested in this sight, go to that link and you can get a special deal. If you go straight to the Primary Arms website, you're not going to get that deal. But these are great optics. In fact, I'm getting ready to do a review on these, and that was part of why I was using it for this little rifle. And I want to thank shootsteel.com for providing the targets. You can get a 10% discount using Suits00 at shootsteel.com. I put a couple of posts on Instagram showing this rifle, and I got some instant questions asking about the ATI stock system that I reviewed a couple of years ago.
That's a great quality stock system. It's made a lot with aluminum and some polymer, but the handguard is totally aluminum. It does come with a stock and a pistol grip, and there's a few more details on the receiver itself to make it look even more AR-15. But the price is about 150 bucks, give or take. With this stock, it's at $49.97, and you can add an inexpensive stock and pistol grip. Probably get the whole thing set up for about $75 to $90. It weighs 5¼ pounds. The ATI weighs 7½ pounds. While the ATI is a high quality stock and I definitely like it, if you want to go more budget, this is also a great option. Let's talk about pros and cons. Super lightweight, 5¼ pounds, very handy. The price is definitely a huge pro. Made in the USA, I think that's a big plus. The construction's tough. I think that this is a really solid system. It's not brittle. It's fairly thick and in the right places. So I think it's going to hold up well over time. You do have the AR controls, even though they're just molded in. You could never adapt that to the 1022 platform. So having a few of the controls is nice. Having the AR pistol grip and your buttstock that's mil-spec, just you can put them on there, or any aftermarket mil-spec type stock and grip. That's a big plus. The Picatinny rails, of course, you can add your scope, your optic to it, and some accessories, and it's just super easy to install. Those are things that I really love about it. A couple of things that I don't like about it, or maybe I would see as a con, is you buy your stock for $49.97 and then you have to add your stock, your grip, and you'll need some kind of sights. You can go with some of the Magpul PTS sights, which are very inexpensive, which I think would be a good option for this 22. So that's not really all that expensive as well, and then of course you can put your scope on here. And if you're training for the AR-15, no, it's not exactly the same, but this is a very inexpensive option. Now, one small criticism that I would have is the key mod, which I like that they're even showing the key mod, but it doesn't work. I mean, you can't attach key mod accessories. What I would like to see though is maybe a small rail section right here like it has toward the rear of the handguard. I think that would be a big plus. One other possible con would be that to really clean your rifle, to field strip the rifle, you're going to have to take it out of the stock. Now, it's not that difficult to do, but still that is one issue that I would see. But if you're looking for something really fun to do with your 1022 and you're just not shooting it and you want to kind of up it a little bit, I think this is a great way to go. I want to thank CCI for sending the 22 mini mags. If these don't function in your gun, there's something wrong with your gun. I've been using this stuff for years, and if I have any problems with reliability, CCI mini mags will usually fix it. I get a lot of questions about these little rests. These are from Foam Action Sports. They weigh 2 ounces. These are just fantastic rifle rests. And also, of course, I use them for display a lot of times. But if I don't have a bipod, this is what I use. So foamactionsports.com. Now I want to thank the guys at Gungner Incorporated for sending this chassis for this test and evaluation. It was a lot of fun. Just one thing though to me that is my favorite is how lightweight it makes this 1022. At just 5¼ pounds, it's just really easy and handy. And I'll have a direct link to go straight to the website to check out the GR22. And while you're there, let them know Suit sent you. I just really love when companies, especially small US companies, are making products right here in the US. I think that's just awesome. And doing some kind of innovative stuff just to have fun. A lot of gun gear is expensive, and it's nice to bring in something that has a budget price to it. But yet, there's a lot of things you can do with this little chassis. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. And so this is a cool little deal. It's a little bit of a, of course you can go with different aftermarket stocks. Like, of course you can go with this stock, you're going for 40. Now there is an aluminum glove, there isn't, there have been thousands, millions, billions, trillions. I don't know how many have been sold.